YouTube family. Welcome to Heart Speak Warriors Forum. This is Jennifer Chappelle, where we try to provide you practical information for your daily inspiration and motivation. So I'm going to do you real quick because I actually took a look and realized that my last YouTube video didn't upload. I don't know what happened. I think there was an error. Something weird happened with the actual upload onto YouTube, and that was the one that I wanted to go through some things with Tara for her I guess it was a question that she had about work. Oddly enough, I haven't been to work, but it was basically about dealing with your coworkers who get favoritism from the bosses, who tend to get better, better pay, better hours, better this, better that, better treatment, and seem to always kind of, get away with slacking off and not being very productive. Whereas, you are not getting those same privileges. So here's the deal. This is what I said. Real quick recap before I talk to you about what I wanted to talk to you today is basically one, keep in mind that how a company chooses to spend their money is not really our business. So if they want to spend their money on someone, paying them the, $40,000 a year to only get $20,000 worth of production, well, then that's on that company. It's definitely their choice. And we have to be mindful of the fact that they're not spending our money. And as long as they're paying our salary, we really shouldn't get too terribly involved in what they're doing with their money in regards to someone else. The other thing was to keep it from really getting up under your skin is to remember that when you joined the company, you told them that you would work a certain number of hours for a certain amount of money every year. And as long as you are doing that and keeping up your bargain for what you decided on, then we really shouldn't put our noses too far into what it is that someone else is doing. We don't know if they're making more than us. We don't know if they're making less than us. And sometimes it's really difficult to look at that, but we're all adults and we have to realize that sometimes, as hard as it is to kind of look the other way and turn the other cheek when it comes to matters of I'm working harder than you are, or the idea that, we don't feel like we're being treated fairly, it really is an individual matter each and every time you take a look at a situation. So the other thing is to try not to be so miserable at work, is to keep in mind that it is just that. It's just work. It's just a job. It's not your whole life. And I know that some people love what they do and they put 150% into their job, because I definitely take my job seriously and put in 110% effort every single time, every single day. And it is tough. It is tough to look around and see that you're putting in that 110% for your $40,000, $50,000, $80,000, whatever it is. And then someone else is putting in, half of the same effort. Maybe they're putting in 60%, maybe they're putting in 40%, and they're getting paid the same amount as you or more than you. And the boss seems to like them more. Well, we also don't know what they're doing in the background. I mean, I know that sounds kind of shady, but you don't know what that person might be doing extra on the side for the boss that might be getting them those extra perks. You don't know if there's some kind of outside relationship that you're unaware of that may be causing that. Maybe nepotism. I have a company where there's a lot of fathers and sons, mothers and sons, fathers and daughters. They got brothers that are working. We have cousins, sisters. So there's a lot of who you know versus what you know going on. And it's not really my favorite thing, but I totally understand that it happens from time to time. So the other side of it, the last thing that I was trying to say on that last video is keep in mind that what you do on a daily basis, as far as your attitude towards your job, it has an impact on how you feel when you leave and when you walk out. So you have to be willing to kind of accept the culture of the company that you work for, accept the way that management is handling situations that you disagree with, and be willing to kind of drop those things in the parking lot, basically on the way to your car, and go home, take that drive to unwind. I usually don't talk to people on the phone or I try not to. I'll listen to music, I open my windows, I do whatever I have to do to kind of de-stress and decompress from work before getting home, because I don't want whatever happened at work today to kind of get in my way of enjoying the rest of my life. Because we do spend like a third of our life at work, but I don't want to spend a third of my life at work and then a third of my life asleep, and then the other third of my life, instead of enjoying it and enjoying my husband and my family and my friends, being angry about what I couldn't change at work. So that's basically what I did in the last video. It's basically one of those, you have to kind of compartmentalize what's going on with work. Understand that there's nothing that's going to make those things change. You are free to voice your opinion, and you are free to say something to your boss if you have that type of relationship with them about what you see as the disparity or the unlevel playing field. But just remember that you are your own person. You're an individual. You made an agreement with that company to do a certain number of hours for a certain amount of money, and you don't know what that other person agreed to. For all we know, that person agreed to do 20 hours worth of work for the same amount of money. And yes, it sucks. And no, it's not fair, and it's not nice, and it's not kind, and it's not sweet, and it doesn't feel good, and it's not a spoonful of sugar. But that's the reality. The reality is that it's never fair. It's never one of those things where the person who's the boss's favorite, who's been there maybe a year longer than you, or maybe hasn't even been there for a year yet, has found some kind of niche where they're the favorite, where they don't have to do the work. And it usually falls on the rest of the team to get it done. So it's not the easiest thing to hear, but at the end of the day, you have to take care of you. So definitely reach way deep down inside of yourself, realize that this is just a job, that eventually you can either do something else, or you can leave that company by looking, actively looking for something else. But in the meantime, to avoid driving yourself nuts, just not ignore. I won't say that. I want you to close your eyes to it. I want you to keep that awareness, but I want you to not let it affect you in a way that you take it home, and try not to be so miserable at work, because the whole reason that you go there is to spend time with some of the people that you actually like. Like, I like my coworkers. I like spending time with them. I'm actually missing them during this kind of self-quarantine or self-isolating period where we're all working from home. But by the same token, I do have coworkers that I look at, people around the building, and I'm like, they don't always do all that they're supposed to. But also evaluate yourself, though. I think that was the very last thing that I said. Evaluate yourself. Evaluate what you do, because you may not be doing everything that you think you're supposed to be doing with every single day. Are you 100% productive every single day, or are there days when you slack off and the company is, maybe you gave them 4 hours worth of production where they were paying you for 8, so technically they're paying you double your salary. Maybe we're not always productive, because I can definitely say that I'm not always the most absolute productive at my job. There are some days when I go in and they may get 4.5, 5 hours worth of work, just because it's Friday. I put in my 4%, and I'm pretty much good for the 100% on the week. So just kind of evaluate that too. Evaluate kind of how you look at yourself when it comes to your job. Maybe you don't always do everything that you're supposed to either. So that was the last video, and I'm sorry that it didn't upload. I don't know exactly what happened. I guess it just got corrupted when I was trying to upload it into the processing for YouTube. So that was my bad. But anyways, so today I just wanted to come in really quickly, tell you guys how much I love you, tell you that you are not alone sitting at home, isolating yourself on the sofa. But I do want to talk to you a little bit about what, COVID-19 really looks like, for not just for Virginia, not just for the USA, but for the world. People understand that it's definitely going to get worse before it gets better, and we each have a social responsibility to do our part to reduce the spread of the virus. Now, I know that most people don't think that it's that bad. Most people are thinking that they can just continue to do what they normally do, and that it's not that serious. There's Atlas. He can't help himself but be on camera. Hello. Yes, hi. You're in the middle of a video. Did you know? You don't care? Okay. Excuse me. Can I get back to it? We're talking about the virus. You don't care because dogs can't get it? Okay. So, So basically, we each have a responsibility to be conscious of what we do, how we do it, where we go, where we don't go. That's extremely important right now, because we have to understand that the virus is definitely spread, person to person spread. You know, it's a respiratory thing. It gets into the air. It's definitely airborne. It's hello, Jack. Okay, so it's definitely airborne. It's one of those things that you just can't ignore. You can't wish it away. You can't hope and pray that everything's going to be okay. We have to take the steps that the people are suggesting that we take. And so that being said, I want everybody to think about this from I'm going to talk to you real quick from a Christian point of view. Most people are like, we're just going to pray and everything's going to be fine. Yes, I agree that if prayer is your go-to to get comfort, then definitely pray. Pray that everything will be okay. Pray that it doesn't, wipe out 26 million people like the flu did, that 1918 flu. Pray that the people who catch it recover instead of dying. Like, all of those things are great to pray for. But don't pray for it and then be willfully ignorant, okay? Be conscious of the fact that there are doctors, there are scientists, there are people all over the world that are telling you exactly what it is that you need to do, should do, to avoid spreading it, to avoid contracting it. And just remember that even from a Christian point of view, Jesus walked the earth for 3 years, and during those 3 years, he had a doctor amongst his disciples. And I'm sure when there was something, somebody had a cough in the group, they looked to that doctor, they looked to him to tell them what was going on, what they needed to do, and how they needed to make it better. That's one thing. God gave you doctors the same way he gave you preachers. He gave you scientists the same way he gave you ministers and elders and missionaries. It's important for you to listen to them just as much as you listen to your faith leaders. So that being said, I also wanted to say to people, socially distant does not mean emotionally distant. So while I'm home, what I'm going to be doing for the next couple days, or probably maybe if I get into the habit of it, since I'll be working from home every single day for the foreseeable future. And Governor Northam just made the statement that we should definitely prepare for this to last months, not weeks. So it'll likely be a very long time that I'll be working from home. I'll probably come in every day on my lunch break just to kind of share with you the view, what I'm doing to kind of take my mind off of the day, kind of relax, and, just kind of keep in connection with you guys. And I think that I may not do those videos pre-recorded. I'll probably do those videos live, even though I don't do a lot of live videos, but I'll probably do those videos live just to kind of get involved with you guys a little more during this time. Because the one thing that becomes a problem for people who are isolated or quarantined is depression. We are people of the light. We are very social creatures. We are people who depend on human interaction. And so, hey. And so social media and phone calls and text messages and everything are going to be you see the tribe, they want to talk to you so bad, are going to be the best way for us to kind of keep in touch and to make sure that everyone's okay and not falling into any kind of depression and not falling into any kind of dark places and spaces thinking that they really are by themselves, because you're not. Even though you might be sitting in your house alone, I saw a hashtag earlier that said alone together, and that's basically what this is. We're all doing what we need to do to stay at home, to stay safe, to stay healthy, but we're not by ourselves. We got a whole world full of people that are doing the same thing. And as long as we're willing to voluntarily follow this, then the governor and the state leaders won't have to mandate quarantines and mandate curfews. So let's start being socially responsible. Let's start being conscious of what we do and how we do it. Let's go ahead and follow those rules, even though they're not mandates yet and they're suggestions. Let's go ahead and follow those suggestions. I think it's easier and better for all of us if we simply do it that way, to make sure that we are safe from this virus. Because the last thing you want is for you to contract it while you were out somewhere, and then you come in contact with your very favorite aunt who's over 50 and you unknowingly give it to her. And while you might get sick and recover in 2 weeks, she might get sick and get the more severe form of the virus and die and pass away. And that's awful to have on your conscience. It's awful to unknowingly do those things. I have a friend who I would love to go see and visit, that I would love to go hang out with, but I can't because she already has an immunocompromised, like she already has a issue that has her system like immunocompromised, and the last thing I want to do is be that person who brings the germs to her house, gives them to her, and then she gets very, very sick and has the more severe form of the virus. So yes, you're healthy. Yes, you're beautiful. Yes, I love you. But stay that way and be sure that you're helping everyone else to stay that way too. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I wanted to do. Is I just wanted to pop in and let you know that you'll probably be seeing me way more over the next few weeks, just because it's important for all of us to stay emotionally connected, socially connected, even though we can't get out into the world to see each other. So make those phone calls to people that you don't typically make those phone calls to. Text people that you don't typically text. Get back in touch with people, talk to people, be friends with people, reconnect with people on social media, open that Instagram account back up, start your own YouTube channel, reactivate your Facebook that you got rid of, get back into that family group and see how everyone's doing. You know, all of those things are going to be very important over the next few weeks, few months, just so that everyone can know that they're not alone and that we are in this indeed together as a community. So I love you guys. Thank you for stopping past Heart Speak every single time you stop by. I'm so grateful to have you here, to have you watching. It means the world to me to know that you're part of the Heart Speak Warriors Forum family, where we are trying to provide practical information for daily application that hopefully breeds inspiration and motivation. So anyway, you guys, I love you. I think that you're the best version of yourself today, but the better version is waiting on you tomorrow. And I love you if no one else tells you, and I think you're the most amazing person that I know. And I will see you guys starting tomorrow, likely every single day. Some of the videos pre-recorded, some of the videos live, but probably every single day for the next little while, just so that we can stay connected at Heartspeak. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.